And he hits this one high in the air, deep to left field. There is company. Zach Stevens, Kevin Strohschein has homered. His 62nd and is tied for the most ever by an OVC baseball player.
Three-time OVC Player of the Year, program's first consensus All-American, all those conference records. Could you have ever envisioned your collegiate career going this well?
No, I was just trying to get a chance out of high school. I wasn't really recruited that heavy or anything like that, so I was just trying to play somewhere.
Going back to that time period, and you kind of talked about it, what was the recruiting process like? You were recruited as a pitcher?
I was recruited like two-way. I didn't really talk to Tech much. Coach Holmes had a friend that he helped out with my summer ball team in high school, and he like texted Coach Holmes, I think, or called him, and was like, "Hey, there's a pretty good player down here. Doesn't have any offers he likes or anything like that, so you can have him up to a camp or whatever." And I came up to a camp here, had a pretty good camp, and then Coach Holmes offered me then.
So your first at bat, you come up, the bases are loaded, the beginning of your collegiate career. What's going through your mind as you're walking to the plate with the bases loaded?
I was real nervous. I felt like I was kind of like shaking a little bit. Yeah, I was so nervous. It wasn't even just like the bases loaded or anything. I was just first at bat.
Well, you couldn't have asked for a better beginning. You hit a grand slam, your first collegian at bat. Take us through what's going through your mind as you're rounding the bases.
I like blacked out. I can barely even remember it. Yeah, that was unreal.
You go on to win the OVC Player of the Year, the only freshman ever to do that. You're the National Co-Player of the Year. All those things from that freshman season. When did that sink in that you had this kind of a year?
I don't know, just the end of the year. You don't really think about it in the middle of the year because you're competing for a playoff spot and everything. So just at the end of the year, everybody's telling me congrats and everything like that, and I think that's when it sinks in.
Yeah, your sophomore year, I think a lot of people, he had kind of a down year. I mean, you were still an all OVC second teamer, but I'm sure for your standards, was it putting a lot of pressure on yourself? Take us through kind of what that was like.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to be the guy. Since I had a great freshman year, I felt like I just needed to just be the guy that won every game by himself and stuff like that. And obviously that wasn't the case. We had other great players around me.
A great thing about baseball being a team sport, and you guys win the OVC tournament. You have a huge OVC tournament. How rewarding was that to not only win, but to have that kind of an impact in winning?
That felt really good because I had a down year and everything, so it felt good that when it counted, I felt like I came through a little bit. Got us, helped get us a bid to a regional and stuff, so that was great.
Yeah, before there was Ole Miss and before the Super Regional in Texas, before all that, it gets kind of lost in the shuffle. You guys went to the Tallahassee Regional. Mm-hmm. You beat a nationally ranked Florida State team, the ACC Tournament champion. What was the Tallahassee Regional experience like?
It was great. I think people do kind of, only talk about Ole Miss and Texas and everything. But yeah, we went down there and beat a great Florida State team that went to, Omaha and everything. So, it was great, It was cool to face like the #1 overall pick and stuff like that in the Auburn game. I thought that got us some experience for the next year too.
One of the great things about your career, obviously all the stats and numbers and things like that, but there's some pretty clutch moments in your career, and one of those, that Florida State game, 9th inning, you hit the double that sets up Ryan Flick. He has the 2-run double, gives you guys the lead in the 9th inning. What do you remember about that crucial at-bat?
I just remember going up and just trying to clear my head. It just sticks out to me, and I just remember getting a slider and waiting back on it and hitting it pretty well down the right field line. I remember being really excited. I remember being really excited when Putty got that single, because I felt like I don't have to try to go up there and hit a home run or anything like that. Yeah, I felt like Putty set us up, and then Flick, obviously that great year he had came through afterwards.
So you guys go into that off season. You just won a game in the regional. You returned offensively pretty much everybody from that team. What were the expectations going into your junior year?
They were high. I don't think anybody thought we were going to be that much better than like the last year or anything like that. You know, we had just won 40 games, so I didn't think, you know, I didn't think this is going to be like, you know, the year where we're like it happened. I thought we almost underwhelmed in the fall. I didn't think we played that well in the fall as a team. So I was just hoping we could get on track and everything like that for this spring.
So 11th game into the season, you're playing at Lipscomb, you go into pitch, you hear something, you feel something, you come off the mound. What's going through your mind at that point?
I was pretty positive I tore it, my elbow. I came off and told the trainer, I was like, I'm pretty sure I just tore it at him. You know, I don't know, I didn't really break down. I'm a pretty calm guy or anything like that, but I was a little upset. You know, I went in, I was just hoping, I was like, get me in the cages, let me see if I can still hit, you know. Go in the cages and it doesn't really hurt that bad, so I was just excited about that.
So that was right around the start of the 28-game winning streak. Baseball teams are not supposed to win 28 games in a row. That's crazy. What can you tell us maybe that we don't know, something about that winning streak?
It was just like, if we got down by 10, it was like everybody was just in the dugout, just kind of like, oh, whatever, we'll get it, and we would. That was just the kind of general mood. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. I don't know. It was really odd how relaxed everybody was.
And you have the winning streak, 27-3 in conference, nationally ranked, wins against Power 5 teams, but then you don't win the OVC tournament. So going into Selection Monday, the resume's stacked, but there never been an OVC team with an at-large bid. How nervous were you?
We were pretty nervous. You know, you got to think winning 50 games and being up near the wins leaders in the NCAA would do it for you, but you never know. I feel like the OVC's kind of slept on as a conference. So we were definitely nervous. And, you know, I think we were pretty late in the selection show. So we were like, well, you know, we got to start preparing for maybe it's not going to happen. I don't know. And then it happened, so obviously.
Yeah, you see Tennessee Tech come up on the screen and Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Brand name, great spot. What's going through the mind? What are the emotions?
Oh, that was just, you know, just so much excitement. Ole Miss is somewhere, you know, I think all of us have wanted to play. You know, it's probably seeing it on TV with the beer shower and everything. So, you know, Ole Miss was almost the best possible spot, I felt like.
That first game against Ole Miss, you beat Missouri State, you play Ole Miss, electric atmosphere. Had you ever played in anything like that before?
No, I hadn't.
You guys end up losing that game, tough one, come back, Alex Searcy pitches the game of his life. You go to bed that night knowing, okay, to make history, we've got to beat Ole Miss twice in one day. It's a team that had lost only 4 times at home all year. How much sleep did you get that night?
I slept fine. I had all kinds of confidence. You know, we had who pitched the first game?
First game, Ethan Roberts.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, well, there's our guy, you know. Good luck with that. And then you got confidence in Lenny's a bulldog and everything like that. So, and you know we're gonna hit. So I was plenty confident. I thought we were better the first game. I came away thinking this team's not that good and we're the better team after the first game. So.
Hey, you win that first game 15-5. You're playing for the right to go to the Super Regional. That environment, that atmosphere, all of that. Going into that game, what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Just kind of a little nervous excitement. I had a bad regional and everything, so I'm just trying to get it back on track. So, you just want to help the team. So, you're just thinking, I gotta perform here, or we're going home.
Goes low-key under the radar, but you had the game-winning RBI in that game, 2-2 in the 7th inning, the sacrifice fly. Almost hit it out. Did you think it was gone when you hit it?
I knew it'd be close. I was just hoping it would stay fair. So I mean, yeah, as soon as I got it up in the air, I was excited. You just don't want to ground into a double play or anything like that, or strike out. So, but yeah, I was hoping it would sneak out, but not quite.
Season ends, and then obviously the draft, and you go undrafted. What was that process like?
I expected to be drafted, definitely. But I wasn't really crushed or anything about it. I was kind of excited to come back. My thought process was kind of either I can come back and have a fun senior year, or I can be in a spring training place rehabbing for the next 12 months. So it ended up better.
Was there any extra motivation by not getting drafted?
I think there was, yeah. I'm not really the type to like hold a grudge or anything like that, but I think it did motivate me to come back and just want to prove that, you should have drafted me the first time and stuff like that, and that I'm going to hit just as well. I'm going to be just the same player as I was before.
So as the season's progressing, you're coming up on a lot of records, program records, conference records. How aware were you during the season of some of those?
You don't really know about it until Twitter, honestly. That was how I would find out about those. Or the teammates would know a lot of the time before I would. Sometimes, I remember I hit a double against somebody, and I'm just taking my stuff off, giving it to G, and I look in here and these guys are going nuts, and I'm like, was that something? And then they're yelling something about the record or something like that, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's what that was. So it was cool, that these guys knew more than I did. I don't know if they would research it or whatever.
Hits, doubles, home runs, RBI, at-bats, we go on and on. Was there one in particular that kind of resonates or stands out to you?
I broke 2 on one swing at NC State. I thought that was pretty cool because I didn't know. I knew the hits one was, I know I was close on the hits one. I didn't know the RBI thing, so it was cool to do that at the same time.
You think about all the players that have played Division I baseball. You're in the top 10 all-time in hits. What does that mean to you?
That's another one. I don't know. That one hadn't really sunk in yet. That one kind of floored me. That one's kind of humbling to me. That was another one I didn't know happened. I go home and see on Twitter, it was like I had to reread it. I was like, is that right? Like, no way. But that's pretty cool to me.
So the draft, second time around, obviously you went through it after your junior year. Here you are as a senior. Take us through kind of what you're feeling going into this draft. Just ready for wherever it takes me. I would hope I would get drafted this time, but just ready for whatever. Not really have any expectations on it. I don't have a round that I want to go in or money or anything like that. I'm just ready to go. And lastly, we're sitting here, the cameras are rolling. What would you like to say to Golden Eagle baseball fans and to everyone who's supported you throughout this journey in Tennessee Tech?
Just thanks for all the support. We have some great fans, and come out ready for these next few years because we're going to bounce back with or without me or whoever else is graduating. We're going to be back on top of the OVC, so keep coming out.